Hosea chapter 1. The word of the Lord that came to Hosea son of the Beeri in the day of the Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, Hezekiah, king of Judah, and in the day of the Jeroboam, son of the Joash, king of Israel, marriage of the Hosea and the Gomer. When the Lord began to speak with Hosea, the Lord said to Hosea, Go get for yourself a woman of the prostitution and the children of the prostitution. For the land prostitute itself, turning away from the Lord. So he went and took Gomer, a daughter of the Diblaim, and she conceived and bore him a son. Then the Lord said to him, Give him the name Jezreel, for a little while I will punish the house of the Jehu for the bloodshed of the Jezreel, and bring to an end the kingdom of the house of the Israel. On that day I will break the bow of the Israel in the valley of the Jezreel. She conceived again and bore a daughter. The Lord said to him, Give her the name of not pity, for I will no longer feel pity for the house of the Israel, rather I will utterly abhor them. Yet for the house of the Judah I will feel pity. I will save them by the Lord their God, but I will not save them by bow and sword, by warfare, by horses and horsemen. After she weaned not pitied, she conceived and bore a son. Then the Lord said, Give him the name, not my people, for you are not my people, and I am for you. Hosea chapter 2. The number of the Israelites will be like the sand of the sea, which can be neither measured nor counted. Instead of being told, You are not my people, they will be called the children of the living God. Then the people of Judah and of Israel will gather together. They will appoint for themselves one head and rise up from the land. Great indeed shall be the day of the Jezreels. Say to your brothers, my people, and to your sisters, Berit, the Lord and Israel his spouse. Accuse your mother, accuse her, for she is not my wife, and I am not her husband. Let her remove her prostitution from her face, her adultery from between her breasts. Or I will strip her naked, leaving her as one day of her birth. I will make her like the wilderness, make her like an arid land, and let her die of thirst. I will have no pity on her children, for they are children of the prostitution. Yes, their mother has prostituted herself. She who conceived them has acted shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers, who will give me my bread and my waters, my wool and my flax, my oil and my drinks. Therefore I will hasten in her way with thorns and erect a wall against her, so that she cannot find her path. If she runs after her lovers, she will not overtake them. If she seeks them, she will not find them. Then she will say, I'll go back to my first husband, for I was better off than now. She did not know then it was I who gave her the grain, the wine, and the oil, I who lavished upon her silver and gold which they used for Baal. Therefore I will take back my grain in its time and my wine in its season. I will snatch away my wool and my flax, which were to cover her nakedness. Now I will lay bare her shame in full view of her lovers, and no one will deliver her out of my hand. I will put an end to all her joy, her festival, her new moons, her Sabbaths, all her seasonal feasts. I lay waste her vines and the fig trees of which she shed. These are feasts my love have given me. I will turn them into rank growths, and the wild animals shall devour them. I will punish her for day of the Baals, for whom she burnt incense, when she decked herself out with her rings and her jewelries, and went after her lovers. But me she forgot, oracle of the Lord. Therefore I will lure her, now I will lead her into the wilderness and speak persuasively to her. Then I will give her the vineyard she had and the valley of the anchor as a door of the hope. There she will respond as in the day of her youth, as one day when she came up from the land of the Egypt. On that day, oracle of the Lord, you shall call me my husband, and you shall never again call me my Baal. I will remove from the mouths the names of the Baals, they shall no longer be mentioned by their name. I'll make a covenant for them on that day with the wild animals, with the birds of the air, and with the things that crawl on the ground, the bow and the sword and the warfare. I'll destroy from the land, and I'll give them a rest in safety. I'll betroth you to me forever. I'll betroth you to me with justice and with judgment, with loyalty and with compassion. I'll betroth you to me with fidelity, and you shall know the Lord. On that day I will respond the oracle of the Lord. I will respond to the heavens, and they will respond to the earth. The earth will respond to the grain and the wine and oil, and these are respond to Zedrulers. I'll sow her for myself in the land, and I'll have pity on not pitied. I'll say to not my people, you are my people, and he will say, my God. Hosea chapter 3 is Hosea and his wife reunited. Again the Lord said to me, go love a woman who is loved by her spouse but commit adultery, just as the Lord loves the Israelites, though they turn to other gods and love raising cakes. So I acquired her for myself for 15 pieces of the silver and the homer and the red track of barley. Then I said to her, you will wait for me for many days. You will not prostitute yourself or belong to any man. I, in turn, will wait for you. For the Israelites will remain many days without a king or a prince, without sacrifice or sacred burial, without the ephod or household god. Afterward, the Israelites will turn back and seek the Lord their God and David their kings. They will come trembling to the Lord and to his bounty in the last days. Hosea chapter 4, Indictment of Israel. Hear the word of the Lord Israel, therefore the Lord has a dispute with the inhabitant of the land. There is no fidelity, no loyalty, no knowledge of the God in the land. Swearing, lying, murder, stealing, and adultery break out. The bloodshed follows bloodshed. Therefore the land dry up, and everything that dwells in it languishes. The beasts of the field, the birds of the air, and even the fish of the sea perish. Guilt of the priest and of the people. But let no one accuse, let no one rebuke. With you is my dispute praised. You will stumble in the day, and the prophet will stumble with you at night. I'll make an end of your murderers. My people are ruined for the lack of the knowledge. Since you have rejected the knowledge, I will reject you from serving as my priest. Since you have forgotten the law of your God, I also forget your children. The more they multiplied, the more they sinned against me. I'll change their glory into shame. They feed on the sin of my people, and I greed for their iniquities. Like people, like priests, I'll punish them for their ways and repay them for their deeds. They will eat but not be satisfied. They will promote prostitution but not increase. But they have abandoned the Lord, devoting themselves to prostitution. Aged wine and new wine take away understanding. My people consult their piece of the wood, and their wand makes a pronouncement for them. For the spirit of the prostitution has led them astray. They prostitute themselves, forsaking their God. On the mountain tops they offer sacrifice, and on the hills they burn incense, beneath oak and poplar and terebinth, because of their present shade. Therefore your daughters prostitute themselves, and your daughters-in-law commit adulteries. I'll punish your daughter for their prostitution, nor your daughter-in-law for their adultery, because the men themselves consort with the prostitute, and with the temple woman they offer sacrifice. Thus a people without understanding comes to ruin. Though your You prostitute yourself, Israel. Do not let Judah become guilty. Do not come to Gilgal. Do not go up to the Beth Aven. Do not swear as the Lord lives. For like a stubborn cow, Israel is stubborn. Will the Lord now pasture them like a lamb in the broad meadows? Ephraim is bound to idols, let him alone. When their drink is over, they give themselves to prostitution. They love shame more than their honors. A wind has bound them up in its wings. They shall be ashamed because of their altars. Hosea chapter 5. Guilt of the religious and the political leaders. Hear this, priest, pay attention, house of Israel, household of the king, give ears, for you are responsible for judgment, but you have been a snare at the Mizpah, a net spread upon Tabor. A pit dug deep in the Shittim, now I'll discipline them all. I know Ephraim and Israel is not hidden from me. Now Ephraim, you have practiced prostitution, Israel is defiled. Their deeds do not allow them to return to their God, for the spirit of the prostitution is in them, and they do not know the Lord. The arrows of the Israel bears witness against him. Israel and Ephraim stumble because of their iniquities, and Judah stumbles with them. With the flock and the horse they will go to seek the Lord, but will not find him. He has withdrawn from them. They have betrayed the Lord, for they have borne in illegitimate children. Now the new moon will devour them together with their fares. Political upheavals. Blow the lamb horn in the Gibeah, the trumpet in the Ramah. Sound the alarm in the Beth Aven. Look behind you, Benjamin. Ephraim shall become a wasteland on the day of the punishment. Among the tribe of the Israel, I announce what is sure to be. The prince of the Judah have become like those who move a boundary line. Upon them I pour out my wrath like waters. Ephraim is oppressed, crushed by judgment, for he has willingly gone after fairs. I am like a most for Ephraim, like a lot for the house of the Judah. When the Ephraim saw his infirmity and Judah his soul, Ephraim went to Assyria and sent to great kings, but he cannot heal you nor take away your soul. For I am like a lion to Ephraim, like a young lion to house of the Judah. It is I who tear the prey and depart. I carry it away and no one can save it. In sincere conversion, I will go back to my place until they make a reparation and seek my presence. In their affliction they shall look for me. Hosea chapter 6. Come, let us return to the Lord, for it is he who has torn, but he will heal us. He has struck down, but he will bind our wounds. He will revive us after 2 days. On the third day he will raise us up to live in his presence. Let us know, or let us strive to know the Lord. As certain as the dawn is his coming, he will come to us like a rain, like a spring rain that waters the earth. What can I do with you, Ephraim? What can I do with you, Judah? What your loyalty is like a morning mist, like a dew that disappears earlier. For this reason I struck them down through the prophet. I killed them by the words of my mouth. My judgment shine forth like the light. For it is loyalty that I desire, not sacrifice, and the knowledge of the God rather than burnt offerings, for the crime of Israel. But they at Adam violated the covenant, there they betrayed me. Great is the city of the evildoers that tracks with blood. Like a brigand lying in wait is the band of the priest. They murdered on the road to the Shechem. Indeed, they commit a monstrous crime. In the house of the Israel I have seen horrible things. There is found Ephraim prostitution. Israel is defiled. For you also, Judah, a harvest has been appointed, when I would have restored the fortune of my peoples. Hosea chapter 7. When I would have healed Israel, the guilt of the Ephraim was revealed, the wickedness of the Samaria. They practiced falsehood, thieves, breaking, and bandits roam outside. Yet they do not call to mind that I remember all their wickedness, and now their crimes surround them, present to my sight. Israel domestic politics. With the wickedness they make the king rejoice, the prince too with their treacherous deeds. They are all adulterers like a blazing oven, which the baker quit stoking after thou kneading until it's rising. On the day of our king, they made the princes sick with the poisoned wine. He extended his hand to the scoffers. For they drew near in ambush with their hearts like an oven. All the night their anger sleeps. In the morning it flares like a blazing fire. They are all heated like ovens and consume their rulers. All the kings have fallen. None of them calls upon me. Israel foreign politics. Ephraim is mixed with the nation. Ephraim is unturned cake. Strength have consumed his strength, but he does not know it. Gray hairs are strewn on his head, but he takes no notice of it. The arrows of the Israel bears witness against him, yet they do not return to the Lord their God, nor seek him despite all this. Ephraim is like a dove, silly and senseless. They call upon Egypt, they go to Assyria. When they go, I will spread my net around them. Like birds in the air, I will bring them down. I will chastise them when I hear of their assemblies. Woe to them, for they have strayed from me. Ruin to them, for they have rebelled against me. Though I wish to redeem them, they spoke lies against me. They have not cried to me from their hearts when they wailed upon their bed. For wheat and wine they lacerated themselves, they rebelled against me. Though I train and strengthen their arms, yet they devise evil against me. They have again become useless, they have been like a treacherous bow. Their princes shall fall by the sword because of the insolence of their tongues. Thus they shall be mocked in the land of the Egypt. Hosea chapter 8. Corruption of the cult, the domestic and the foreign politics. Put the trumpet to your lips. One like an eagle is over the house of the Lord, because they have violated my covenant and rebelled against my law. They cry out to me, my God, we know you, but Israel has rejected what is good. The enemy shall pursue him. They made kings, but now by my authority. They established princes, but without my knowledge. With the silver and gold, they made idols for themselves to their own destructions. He has rejected your corpse, Samaria. My wrath is kindled against them. How long will they be incapable of innocence in Israel? An artisan made it, it is no God at all. The cup of the Samaria will be dashed to pieces. When they sow the wind, they will lift the whirlwind. The stalk of the grain that forms no head can yield no flour. Even if it could, the stranger would swallow it. Israel is a swallow of the nowadays among the nations, like the useless vessel. For they went up to Assyria, or will as on its own. The Ephraim bargained for lovers. Even though they bargain with the nation, I will now gather them together. They will soon succumb under the burden of the king and princes. When Ephraim made many altars to expiate sin, they became altars for sinning. Though I write for him my many instructions, they are considered like strangers. They love sacrifice, they sacrifice meat and eat it, but the Lord is not pleased with them. Now he will remember their guilt and punish their sins. They shall return to Egypt. Israel has forgotten his maker and has built the palaces. Judah too has fortified many cities, but I will send a fire upon his cities to devour their strongholds. Hosea chapter 9. From days of the celebration to days of the punishment. Do not rejoice, Israel, do not exult like the nation, for you have prostituted yourself, abandoning your God. Loving a prostitute feed upon every threatening flow. Threatening flow and the winepress will not nourish them. The new wine will fail them. They will not dwell in the Lord land. Ephraim will return to Egypt, and in Assyria they will eat the unclean food. They will not pour a libation of wine to the Lord, and their sacrifice will not praise him. Their bread will be like a mourner's bread that makes unclean all who eat of it. Their food will be for their own appetite. It cannot enter the house of the Lord. What will you do on the festival day, the day of the Lord's feast? When they flee from the devastation, Egypt will gather them, Memphis will bury them. These will overgrow their silver treasure and the thorns their tent. They have come the day of the punishment, they have come the day of the recompense. Let Israel know it, the prophet is a fool, the man of the spirit is mad, because your iniquity is great too is your hostilities. The watchman of the Ephraim, the people of my God, is the prophet, yet a foul snare is on all his ways, hostility in the house of his God. They have sunk to depths of the corruption, as in the day of Gibeah. God will remember their iniquity and punish their sins. From former glory to history of the corruption. Like grapes in the desert, I found Israel. Like the first fruit of the fig tree, it's the first to ripen. I look on your ancestors, but when they came to Baal Peor and consecrated themselves to the shameful one, they became as abhorrent as the thing they loved. Ephraim is like a bird, their glory flies away, no birth, no pregnancy, no conception. Even though they bring up their children, I will make them childless until no one is left. Indeed, what to them when I turn away from them? Ephraim, as I saw, was a tree planted in the meadows, but now Ephraim will bring out his children to the slaughterers. Give them a load, give them what? Give them a miscarrying wombs and a dry breast. All their misfortune began in Gilgal. There I rejected them because of their wicked deeds. I'll drive them out of my house. I love them no longer. All their princes are rebels. Ephraim is stricken, their root is dried up, they will bear no fruit. Were they to bear children, I would slay the beloved of their wombs. My God will disown them because they have not listened to him. They will be wanderers among the nations. Hosea chapter 10, Destruction of the idolatrous cultic object. Israel is a luxuriant vine whose fruit matches its growth. The more abundant is his fruit, the more altars he bears. The more productive his land, the more sacred pillars he set up. Their heart is false, now they will pay for their guilt. God will break down their altars and destroy their sacred pillars. For now they will say, we have no king, since we do not fear the Lord the King, what could we do for us? They make promises, swear for us, and make a covenant, while lawsuits sprout like a poisonous weeds in the furrows of fear. The inhabitants of Samaria are afraid for the cup of the best Avon. Its people mourn for it, and its idolatrous priests wail over it, over its glory which have departed from it. It will be carried to Assyria as an offering to the great kings. Ephraim will be put to shame. Israel will be shamed by his schemes. Samaria and her king will disappear like a twig upon the walls. The high place of the Alvan will be destroyed. The sin of the Israel throne and the thistles will overgrow their altars. Then they will cry out to the mountain, cover us, and to the hills, fall upon us. What because of Israel's wickedness? Since the day of the Gibeah, you have seen the Israel. There they took their stand. We will not reach them in Gibeah against the perverse people. I command, I chastise them. People will be gathered against them when I bind them to their two crimes. Ephraim was a trained heifer. They loved to trust. I myself laid a yoke upon her beautiful neck. I'll make Ephraim break ground. Judah must blow. Jacob must harrow for himself. Sow for yourself justice, reap the reward of loyalty. Break up for yourselves a new field, for it is time to seek the Lord, till he comes and rains justice upon you. But you have plowed the wickedness, reaped the perversity, and eaten the fruit of the falsehood, because you have trusted in your own power and in your many warriors. The clamor of the world shall break out among your people, and all your fortresses shall be lavished. As Solomon lavished the best armor on the day of the war, smashing mothers along with their children. So it will be done to you better because of your utter wickedness. At dawn, the king of Israel will utterly disappear. Hosea chapter 11, the disappointment of the parent. When Israel was a child, I loved him. Out of Egypt I called my son. The more I called them, the farther they went from me, sacrificing to the Baals and burning incense to idols. Yet it was I who taught Ephraim to walk, who took them in my arms, but they did not know that I cared for them. I drew them with human cords, with bands of the love. I fostered them like those who raise an infant to their cheeks. I bent down to feed them. He shall return to the land of Egypt. Assyria shall be his king, because they have refused to repent. The sword shall rise in his cities. It shall destroy his diviners and devour them because of their schemings. My people have their mind set on apostasy, though they call on God in unison. He shall not raise them up. But love is stronger and restores. How could I give you up, Ephraim, or deliver you up, Israel? How could I treat you as Admah, or make you like Zebulun? My heart is overwhelmed, my pity is destroyed. I will give a vent to my blazing anger. I will not destroy Ephraim again, for I am God and not a man, that the Holy One present among you. I will not come in last. They shall follow the Lord, who roars like a lion. When he roars, his children shall come frightened from the west. Out of Egypt they shall come trembling like birds, like doves from land of the Assyria, and I will resettle them in their homes, oracle of the Lord. Hosea chapter 12, Infidelity of Israel. Ephraim has surrounded me with lies, the house of Israel with deceit. Judah still wanders about with God and is faithful to a Holy One. Ephraim shuffled the wind and pursued the east wind all day long. He multiplies lies and violence. They make a covenant with Assyria, and oil is carried to Egypt. The Lord has a dispute with Judah and will punish Jacob for his conduct and repay him for his deeds. In the womb he supplanted his brother, and his vigor he contended with the divine being. He contended with the angel and prevailed. He wept and entreated him. At Bethel he met with him, and there he spoke with him. The Lord is God of hosts, the Lord is his name. You must return to your God, maintain loyalty and justice, and always hope in your God. A merchant who holds a false balance, he loves to extort. Ephraim has said, how rich I have become. I made a fortune. All his gain will not suffice for the guilt of his sin. I, the Lord, have been your God since the land of Egypt. I again have you live in tents as one of feast days. I spoke to the prophet. I granted many visions, and through the prophet I told the parables. In Gilead is a falsehood. They have come to nothing. In Gilgal they sacrifice bulls, but their altars are like a heap of the stone in the furrows of the field. Jacob fled to the land of the Aram, and Israel served for wife. For wife he tended sheep. But by the prophet the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt, and by a prophet Israel was tended. Ephraim has aroused bitter anger, so his Lord shall cast his bloodshed upon him, and repay him for his scorn. Hosea chapter 13, the death of the Ephraim. When Ephraim spoke, there was a terror. He was exalted in Israel, but he became guilty through Baal and died. Now they continue to sin, making for themselves molten images, silver idol according to their skill, all of them the work of the artisans. To these offer sacrifice, they say, people kiss calves. Therefore they will be like a morning cloud, or like a dew that vanishes with the dawn, like a chaff storm driven from the threatening floor, or like a smoke out of the windows. I, the Lord, am your God, since the land of Egypt, the God apart from me you do not know. There is no Savior but me. I fed you in the wilderness, in the parched land. When I fed them, they were satisfied. When satisfied, they became proud. Therefore they forgot me. So I'll be like a lion to them, like a leopard by a load. I'll keep watch. I'll attack them like a bear loud of its young, and tear their hearts from their breast. I'll devour them on the spot like a lion, as wild animals would lift them open. I'll destroy your Israel, who is there to help you. Where now is your kings, that he may rescue you, and all your princes, that you may defend you, of whom you said, give me a king and princess. I give you a king in my anger, and I take him away in my wrath. The guilt of the Ephraim is lapped up, his sin is strewn away. The birds of bangs will come for him, but there is a wise child, who, when it's time, does not present himself at the mouth of the wombs. Shall I deliver them for the power of the Sheol? Shall I redeem them from death? Where are your plague, O death? Where is your sting, Sheol? Compassion is hidden from my eyes. Though Ephraim may flourish among his brothers, an east wind will come, wind from the Lord, rising from the wilderness, that will dry up his spring and leave his fountain dry. It will root his treasure of every precious things. Hosea chapter 14. Samaria has become guilty, for she has rebelled against her God. They shall fall by the sword, their infant shall be dashed to pieces. The pregnant woman shall be ripped open. Sincere conversion and new life. Return Israel to the Lord your God. You have stumbled because of your iniquities. Take with your words and return to the Lord. Say to him, forgive all iniquity and take what is good. Let us offer the fruit of our lips. Assyria will not save us, nor we will mount the horses. We will never again say, our God, to work up our hands. For in you the orphan find compassion. I hear their apostasy. I love them freely, for my anger is turned away from them. I'll be like the dew for Israel. He will blossom like the lily. He will strike a root like the Lebanon cedar. And his shoot will go forth. His plant will be like olive trees, and his fragrance like Lebanon cedar. Again they will live in shade. They will raise grain. They will blossom like the vine, and his renown will be like the wine of the Lebanon. Ephraim, what more have I did with idols? I have humbled him, but I'll take note of him. I like a verdant cypress trees. From me fruit will be found for you. Epilogue. Who is wise enough to understand these things? Who is intelligent enough to know them? Straight are the paths of the Lord, the just walk in them, but sinners stumble in them.